Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing something a little bit fun, a little bit different. We are ranking layer 1 blockchains. Now I did something like this ages ago and I thought let's just do it again because the space has developed a lot and things have changed. We've got many new chains now. Some of the old chains which were good aren't good anymore. So yeah, please don't be offended if I'm fudding your bags. It might be the case where I find that your chain is an S tier chain and you might find that it is actually something that was going to go to zero, and vice versa. There might be a chain that I think is going to zero that you might think is an S tier chain. This is just my opinion, no financial advice as always. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun. Let's start with, what should we start with? Let's just go with the very left side of things. We've got Cardano, ADA I should say. This is definitely mid-curve. There's no question about it. I think ADA fanboys don't really know what they're talking about. Whilst I don't think it's going to zero, or I don't think it should go to zero, I do see from time to time there are a few developments here and there, but ultimately it's a bit of a ghost chain. There isn't really much to do on there. I've even tried it out myself. Yeah, definitely mid-curve. And the fact that it's somehow still around the top 10 or 11 just goes to show, that it is a bit of a cultish chain. Sometimes that is good. Last cycle was definitely good. This cycle, I think it's certainly in the mid-curve category. So that's that. Let's take this. Let's take Matic or Polygon. I think if you asked me maybe a year or two ago, perhaps I would have put it lower down. But I think now that Polygon, I mean, they're kind of not really a layer 1 anymore. For now, they still are with the POS chain. But I think now that they're really focusing on ZK EVM, and also now that they've got the AG layer, I have to actually put it further up. I think it is actually a really solid chain, and they are actually doing stuff. The AG layer is really interesting to me. I'm pretty bullish on that actually, and I know token wise, it hasn't performed the best. It's kind of been a little bit choppy, but I think it will have its time eventually. Maybe not now, maybe in a few months time, maybe later in the year when the AG layer comes out. But yeah, I do actually think it is a solid chain, and some people say there isn't really much to do on there. I think there's a decent amount, and enough to actually call it a decent-ish ecosystem. Definitely more interesting than the middle. I don't know if I wouldn't call it exactly mid-curve, but yeah, definitely it's not going to zero, but I think it is still quite a bit away from becoming an S-tier chain. A lot of work needs to be done for it to kind of go up there, but yeah, decent enough ecosystem. Let's take Algorand. This shouldn't exist anymore. This should go to zero. I don't think there's anything that's really happening on there. Is there even anything for public users to do? Are they just going down the enterprise route? I have no idea. Yeah, I think it actually underperformed last cycle, and I think it's certainly going to underperform this cycle too. Not for me. We've got Asar here. Asar were the Polkadot chain. Whilst they have actually tried to shift that, and they are actually building a layer 2 using the Polygon CDK actually, I do still think it's mid-curve. I don't think, again, right now there's not really much to do on there. It's pretty much as close to dead as possible, but they do have a lot of money. They do have a lot of Japanese influence, so yeah, maybe they can kind of build something out with their ZK roll-up. I mean, in terms of their layer 1, pretty dead to me. Next we have Avalanche. Pretty easy for me to put this up in the solid chain with a good ecosystem. At times you could say that some of the stuff that they do is a little bit forced, perhaps with the meme coin stuff that they've been doing, but I actually think Avalanche is a solid chain. They're really focusing on gaming as well. So many games, they all seem to be launching on Avalanche. I don't think you can call it mid-curve on it. I definitely don't think it's anywhere near zero. It's pretty good actually, and I think there's like Polygon, they do need to do a little bit of work in order to get to the S tier chain. But yeah, I think I can't really fade AVAX. I think they're still doing stuff. There is still stuff to do on Avalanche. There are things to play gaming wise. There are real world asset stuff. Yes, there is still a bit of a DeFi ecosystem there. Trader Joe is still on there. So yeah, Avalanche, solid chain, good ecosystem, fair play to them. Next we've got Berachain. bias aside, I mean, there's no way actually. I have to be biased on this one actually. Parachain has to go in S tier. I am very, very biased on that one. Parachain's not even launched yet. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Parachain S tier. Next we've got the Binance Smart Chain. I'm going to have to say that this is mid-curve as well. Binance, I don't know. Again, I think the BSC days last cycle were really, really fun. There was stuff to do. Now, again, not really so much. Yeah, I think don't get me wrong, Binance is still very, very strong, but I don't think there's really much of an ecosystem there, and I don't really think that there will be anything to do on BSC anytime soon. Doesn't really seem to be attracting attention right now. Token price is still pretty good though, but yeah, not something that I'm particularly interested in touching at the moment. Next we've got Canto. Canto did have this phase of really focusing on real assets and the T-bills and everything like that. But since then, it's really lost traction. It's a very low market cap layer one, actually. Is it mid-curve? I don't know. Personally, I'm just going to put it in the not interesting to me category, kind of meh at the moment, kind of average. Yeah, very early days, I guess, and yeah, I don't think there's much going on there right now. But the real world asset stuff was interesting. I don't exactly know what's going on with that right now. You might have to go and watch some of Taiki's videos, because he did actually cover it quite a lot a few months back. But yeah, not really interesting for me. I don't think it has much of an ecosystem, so definitely can't go above that. But it's still kind of early days. Next, we've got Atom. I guess Cosmos itself isn't actually a layer one. It's basically just like the security layer, and you have all these other layer ones on Cosmos. I'm going to have to say that this might trigger some people, but I'm going to have to say that it is mid-curve. There are some Cosmos chains that are really good, but Atom itself, mid-curve. I think they have a lot of stuff to still figure out. And Cosmos still is interesting to me. IBC is amazing. Some of the Cosmos chains are really, really interesting. But yeah, I think Atom itself, not really for me. Next, we've got the GOAT, ETH. There's no questions. S tier. Everything is still on ETH. Everything is on L2s. ETH is still the powerhouse. Yeah, you could argue that some people don't really like doing stuff on ETH, but yeah, everything still is on ETH, and even layer 2s are kind of accompanied by ETH, the asset. So yeah, S tier. Solana, I have to actually put it in S tier as well. There was a point in time, perhaps 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, where I wouldn't have put it in this category, but I have to give Solana props. They've been able to really resurge from the lows following FTX. There's actually a decent amount of stuff to do on Solana. I'm actually enjoying my time on Solana, especially with the number of tokenless applications that people are playing around with, from DeFi to NFTs to real world asset stuff with Parcel. You know what? And the meme coin season, of course, like that has really captured attention. So yeah, I actually have to put Solana in S tier. I think it's actually the only chain that can actually rival ETH right now. So yeah, those two are like the top dogs. And I don't think that many of you will be able to argue that with me. I think probably most people will agree with that. Next, we have the Ethereum Classic chain. This should go to 0. Again, nothing to do there. I don't even know why that even exists, but it does. But yes, I'm just waiting for it to slowly bleed to 0. It probably won't do that, but that's what I want to happen. So we've got Phantom next. Now this is a really interesting one, because Phantom's Andre has really been talking a lot about Phantom. Phantom's been at the center of attention recently. They are kind of doing all crazy stuff with parallelization. I think the ecosystem's pretty poor, and I am not 100% convinced about what Andre is doing at the moment. So I'm going to put it in not interesting to me. Token has performed fantastically, probably could continue to perform really well. But I mean, in terms of like an overall chain and an overall ecosystem, yeah, I don't think it's something that I'm particularly interested in right now. Next we have Flow. I'm going to have to put this in mid-curve. I think they were doing a lot of stuff with NFTs. I'll be honest, I don't really know the most about it, and so perhaps I should probably put it in not interesting to me. But in either of them, I think it probably goes in either of these categories. I do remember it was at quite a high valuation. Let's have a look, actually. What was the valuation? Because I've actually forgotten off the top of my head. Let's have a look. 1.7 billion. Pretty high. But look, it's performed okay, I guess, over the last 1 year. Yeah, so it's, I guess, not really interesting to me right now. I don't think there's anything really going on there. Next, we've got the Gnosis chain. I think this is something that is actually growing. Gnosis have got like 300 million in TVL. They are actually growing quite a lot, but I have to put it in not interesting to me because I don't think there's anything there that's really caught my attention. Pretty standard stuff with your lending markets, indexes and whatnot. Next, we got Harmony. I actually really used to enjoy Harmony last cycle, but whether it's poor leadership, whether it's like VCs dumping, whether it's just the decline following DeFi kingdoms, probably a combination of all of them. This, I think, should probably go to zero. I don't think there's anything of value there on Harmony right now. Hedera, mid-curve. I mean, look, I don't really care about the institution-like chains. They don't really offer retail users like you and me much. I don't know why you even bother speculating on something like this. And it's got such a high market cap too. Like, yeah, just forget it. ICP is basically went down like 99%. It was a VC chain and has actually resurged a little bit in the last few months. There's a whole narrative around ICP being an AI chain now as well. I'll be honest, I'm not really interested in this. This is a load of garbage to me right now. But of course, things change. And I think right now it's just a load of word salad. There isn't really much of interest to me. You know, perhaps I should probably put it in mid-curve, but I'm going to put it in not interesting to me just because it has actually performed quite well. A lot of people are saying that it is going to continue to perform well, but yeah, not for me at the moment. So next we've got Injective. I'm going to put this in solid chains. Yes, okay, first point. Injective doesn't really have much of an ecosystem right now, but there are many tokenless applications. Inch stakers have had a number of airdrops, and I think are going to continue to do so. So it is something that is clearly developing. I don't have any exposure, but I have to say from the sidelines, fair play to them. Good stuff. Next we got Cardano, mid-curve. Last cycle did really well. This cycle, just forget about it. No innovation there really. I'm going to do the same with Carver as well. I think this is like 1 billion FTV. Again, not really much innovation there in terms of ecosystem development, apps, nothing really that really drives attention. We've got Casper. So again, the third chain with a K. Casper, I would say probably not interesting to me. The token has performed really well. So props to anyone who managed to get into this early. I don't really see much of an ecosystem or anything really to do there. But in terms of attention and mindshare, it's done pretty well there. It is a proof of work chain. There isn't really many of those left. So yeah, maybe not mid-curve because people have done well with it. But yeah, I'm not really too sure what I would even do on Casper, where the opportunities even lie. I can't see anything there at the moment. Next, we have Kujira. Kujira is something that I actually used to own. I unfortunately sold my bag a long time ago. And I'm a bit salty about that. But not to worry. I think Kujira is has a pretty good community. Look, this is one of the Cosmos chains that I actually do like. There are applications, there are things that you can actually do on it. So yeah, I think it's pretty good actually. I'm going to put it in good ecosystem, solid. I can't really fault them. They're doing good stuff. And yes, I do think there are things that they probably could improve on, and there are apps that I would like to see there. But you know, for their size actually, they've done a pretty good job so far. And I like UK builders of course. Next we've got Mina. Mina, I'm going to have to put in mid-curve. This is meant to be a ZK chain, or ZK layer 1. Nothing has really come out of it just yet. They've been working on stuff for a long time. Perhaps it's just a case of just waiting for something to develop there. But I think for now, like, it is mid-curve. I am actually interested in it. I am interested to see kind of what develops from Mina. But I think for now, yeah, not really interesting. Okay, now we've got a big one. We've got Monad, and Monad has really captured attention a lot recently with the whole parallel EVM, 10,000 transaction per second. You know what? I'm actually going to have to put this in S tier. And I know this, like Berachain, hasn't launched yet, but you know, I can see this launching at well over 10 billion FTV, 20 billion, maybe even higher than that. This has really captured mindshare and attention, and I think we're going to see like a really thriving ecosystem within Monad when it launches. Who knows when it even is going to launch? Perhaps it's going to be end of year, maybe even the start of 2025. We've got a long time for that. I don't even know if the testnet is even ready yet. Or I think the developer testnet might be ready now, but so still a while to go actually. But I think Monad is going to cook hard. So next we've got Oasis. I'm going to put this in mid curve. They're focusing on privacy. They're focusing on AI. They've got all of the buzzwords there, but ultimately there's really nothing to do on there. It is just a chain of infrastructure with nothing built on it. Token price can keep going up for sure. Perhaps I should put it in here actually, because it's not really interesting to me. There isn't really much to do there. Let's see. We've got Osmosis next. I think this is certainly going to be mid curve, just a liquidity layer chain. I use it from time to time, but I don't think it's going to be a strong performer from here. We've also got Polkadot. This is definitely mid curve. Yeah, great last cycle, not so great this cycle. Still waiting for version 2. I think when version 2 comes out, perhaps it could go up. Like, it could actually end up with having like a solid ecosystem, but we have to wait for version 2. And I'm not exactly sure when that is coming, but it shouldn't be long away. Next we've got Secret Network. This was pretty big last cycle. This has pretty much died, and I haven't seen any innovation there whatsoever. So yeah, send this one to 0. Next we've got Say. Interesting one. Parallel EVM. Not actually out yet in terms of parallel EVM. They are a Cosmos chain. Don't really have much of an ecosystem just yet, but I think they are just waiting for the parallel EVM. And I know that there are like 50 plus projects basically building on Say right now. So I'm going to have to put it in Solid Chain because the tech is pretty good. They are one of the fastest chains. Time to finality is pretty quick. Yeah, it's a good chain. And when the EVM comes out, that should be pretty good for it. Next we got Sui, one of the move chains. Amazing technology. I really like it. Actually, pretty good ecosystem as well. High TVL, can't fault it. It is a pretty good chain. Now with both of these, the VC unlocks are pretty nasty, so that could affect your token price. But in terms of like a tech, I really like it. Tezos, NFT chain from last cycle or even the cycle before that did fairly well. Again, not really seeing too much there anymore. Send this to 0. Next we've got Telegram coin, or Ton coin I should say. This has been absolutely insane, but if I'm being honest, it's not really interesting to me. Yeah, not really much more to add there. I feel like it's performed pretty well, but I can't really see how much upside there is now from this point onwards, but you never know. And last but not least, we've got Tron. Tron's actually the number 2 chain in TVL, which is absolutely insane. Loads of people use Tron because of USDT. It has a real use case. It has found product market fit. But in terms of like the Tron ecosystem outside of USDT, there's really nothing out there. So sorry, Justin, but I'm going to have to put you in mid curve. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Perhaps I could change a few things, like maybe Phantom could go up, and maybe one of these other chains could actually move up. Maybe Osmosis, maybe Mina, etc. But generally, I think I'm fairly happy with that. You can see exactly which chains I'm particularly bullish on and which ones I'm bearish on. I'm sorry if I flooded your bags. Please, it was just for fun. I'll probably do this again. Maybe we'll cover DeFi. Maybe we'll cover modular stuff. Maybe we'll cover NFTs, who knows. If you like it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. If you're watching this on Twitter, give it a like, give it a retweet, and we'll do another one in due time.